Kia ora, Benji. It's James from TV3 back over in New Zealand, mate. Congrats on making the final, first of all. 16 years between drinks. Can you quite believe that the week's actually here after all that time?
Oh yeah, it's hard to comprehend at the moment. It's been so long. I forgot what grand final week was like. But I'm just really grateful to be in this position and have this opportunity. And there's probably a couple of times, especially in the last 5 years, where I looked like my career was over. So to be able to be here at this great club, who have really shown me a lot of support, especially from the players, to get me here with Wayne, and then the club and the fans. Just really felt the love being here and really enjoying myself at the moment.
Yeah, I guess after maybe being thrown a bit of a lifeline by Wayne at the start of this year, does that make this week all the more sweeter after everything?
Oh, not really. I don't really operate like that. It's more, I knew within myself that I still had something to offer, and Wayne knew I had something to offer. But also, it wasn't just Wayne, just the backing of the senior players when he asked them, and then obviously the backing of the club to go through with it and actually bring me here. I'm really grateful for that, and to still be playing as well and have this opportunity to again win another premiership is pretty special.
And I've just been looking back over 2019 when you made that return to the Kiwis, which everyone remembers. Did you ever think around that time that you'd get something close to that, or how does that? How does another grand final compare to something like that?
Oh, it's a little bit different. I'm still at the part where playing for your country is the highest honour you can ever to achieve, and for me back then that looked like that was never going to happen again. So that was a pretty special moment, and very emotional moment for myself. Sorry. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. Someone talked.
Kia ora, Benji. Matt here from One News in Auckland. Just speaking on that Kiwis return, when we interviewed you, you said that you cried putting the jersey back on for the first time. Just there on your jersey, if you can look down and look at that printing where it says, grand final, what does that mean to you?
Oh yeah, it's really special. And not just for me, but for all our team. We've only got 4 guys who have played in the grand final before, and then we've got guys that are leaving. And I think it's really special. Like for a guy like Adam Reynolds, who's been at this club his whole career, Wayne Bennett's leaving, and then on top of that, we got a whole bunch of members and supporters back in New South Wales who are not going to have the opportunity to come and watch us play in this final. So there's a lot to play for this week, and it's not about how it makes me feel. It's more about everyone in our great club.
I know you've been asked this question so many times during your career, but is this a good time to stop and pause and reflect? That young kid coming from Whakatane and what you've done in the game and how you've inspired others to follow you. Yeah,
I've been asked this question actually quite a lot today, and the only answer I got is I don't really like looking at myself like that. That's probably something for when you retire. I know I've had some sort of effect on the game. I just don't like looking to what extent at the moment. I think that's just one of those things that when you finish playing, you can go back and look on and be proud of. But while you're still playing, you got to think about getting a job done. And my mindset's all about this weekend and playing as best we can.
Benji, it's Brad Water here. Mate, you're obviously a different type of player than what you were, back in 2003 or 2005 when you were a kid at the West Tigers. Can you just tell us how you've had to evolve to survive for 19 seasons?
Well, I think one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to me is just resilience. I had 5 shoulder reconstructions at a young age. I've missed like 70 games through injury throughout my career. So to bounce back from that is one of the things I'm probably most proud of. And to play 19 years in this competition is something that is pretty special as well. But in terms of my game, I've had to change my body shape to try and not get so injured, especially with the shoulders. I've probably had to change my game as I've gotten older into playing a lot smarter and not so flashy and instinctive. And I've really enjoyed the evolution of what I've had to do with my game, because every year I reckon when you're playing, you have to learn new tricks and try and have something to improve on and be better. And I think that's helped me keep going, keep trying to, evolutionize my game.
Yeah, and your relationship with Wayne goes back to I think 2008 at the World Cup. How has he evolved and how has he changed to stay so successful for so long?
Well, I don't think he's changed too much within his principles of coaching. If anything, I think he's realized the generation is different, and he's had to probably get to know his players a lot better and try and find ways to get the best out of his players. But he's still a grumpy old man to you guys. But he's actually a really caring, friendly guy who loves to have jokes with the boys at the back of the bus, playing country music that we all have to listen to that some of us don't like. But we put up with it because it's Wayne and he's the coach and he picks the team, so you play whatever he wants.
Thanks, mate. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, Benji, it's Trent from 10. Obviously, an incredible sight to see so many fans there today watch you train, but our colleagues saw a couple of boys from the Gold Coast and they weren't necessarily there for the Rabbitohs, they were there for you and they performed a haka in your honour. Like, what's it mean to you that no matter what colours you wear, you have fans yourself as Benji Marshall?
Yeah, it was a really special moment today. Just reflecting on that, it's an honour when someone does a haka for you. So to have those boys from the old school, and girls, sorry, from the old school that I went to up here on the Gold Coast was really special. And something that I really enjoyed today. And I threw my hat to one of the kids just as a little way to say thank you. So, who knows? I might get a few huckers this weekend. Who knows? Everyone thinks I'm retiring. Or Wayne said I am anyway.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to. Where'd your head go when Wayne says that?
I just laughed. I haven't even discussed retiring with Wayne at the moment. But, look, I think I've done a really good job in the last few years of just playing each game as if it's my last, and then at the end of the season, make a decision about what I want to do. And it's not going to be any different this year. Put it this way, I feel like the way my body feels right now, I could play next year for sure if I wanted to. But I'll weigh all those things up at the end of the season. Probably give after this weekend a bit of time to sink in and settle in, and then make a decision after that.
It could be a very special way to bow out, though. Have you thought of that moment?
No, I haven't. It's for me, it's more about, if you still got the desire and the passion to play and you want to play, then why not?
Cheers.
Benji, you spoke about some evolution there and you did touch on it, but how much of that happened in this last sort of 4 to 5 seasons sort of after Dragons when you had to kind of fit into different roles? I know you were in the halves at the Tigers again, but how much of that process happened in this most recent sort of 4 to 5 seasons? And what was that like?
Oh, I feel like every year something's had to I've worked on something to try and change and be better at. But I think the last, 4 or 5 years is because I've gotten older. Everyone has a stigma around age. Oh, he's had to change his game because he's older. But it doesn't matter how old you are. You just got to keep on going. And I feel like I've changed heaps of stuff over the last 12 years of my career. Not just the last 4 or 5. So if you want to keep getting better, you got to find ways to change your game.
Hey, Benji, I know you hate talking about, but you just mentioned it there that you don't know what you're going to do after this week and you still feel like you're playing good enough and feeling good enough. Would it have to be at South Sydney if there wasn't room there? Would you give yourself out in the market again and see what's around?
Oh, I haven't even thought about that either. I just said to my manager, look, you just deal with whatever offers or anything comes your way. And at the end of the season, we'll sit down, see what's on the table and make a decision. And we'll see what happens. And no, it doesn't have to be at South Sydney. I don't know what will happen, but for now, I'm just focused on this week. You got to be in it this week. You can't be thinking about what's happening next year or am I leaving? That doesn't matter. It's about now.
Hey, Benji, I know you guys are always process driven, but how hard is it not to play the 80 minutes in your head leading up to this grand final?
Oh, it's easy for me. I'm probably the most loose here in terms of just having a good time. I think you got to break it up and when it's time to train, switch on. But then when it's not, get away from it. Enjoy your time with your family up here. Have a laugh with the boys, play some cards. You don't want to play the game too early. You can drain a lot of emotional energy. And, we're really lucky we got Wayne as a coach. He's done this a few times. And, his messages around experience have been invaluable for us.
Hey, Benji, I'm Ted from Wayne. As you touched on before, your Australian Rugby League adventure all really started on the Gold Coast at Keebra. What's it like being back there for such an occasion?
Yeah, it's been great being back here. I've got a lot of friends few best friends still live here, a little bit of family. So it's been good in that sense. But I'm actually a little bit gutted that it's not in Sydney. I would have loved to see the fan day today at Redfern for all our fans and members back there, and see the crowd. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the crowd this weekend because last week we had a really good turnout at the game from people in Queensland supporting us, and looking forward to that being the case again this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Benji, I hope you never retire, but when you eventually do you reckon you might keep playing touch footy?
Yeah, that's probably a big chance, mate. But if you ask some of my teammates, they probably say I still play it now.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Benji, David Long from Stuff in New Zealand here. Not just because of yourself and Russell Coe and the other Kiwis in the team, but do you feel there's always been an affinity for New Zealanders with the Rabbitohs?
I didn't know Russell Crowe played.
Well, involved anyway.
Sorry, mate. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking. No, I don't know. It's since I've been here, I think what's really good about the Rabbitohs is they're just a really good mix of cultures and really drive the Indigenous part of the team. And it's a really good mix here, and the inclusion of everyone is what I've really noticed is big time here, and so such a great family club. So when you think about Kiwis in general, they really revolve highly around family. Family is a big motivator, so that's probably why there's a big connection there.
And do you feel when as a young Kiwi coming through at the Rabbitohs or a club you're involved in, do you always sort of, take them under your wing a bit, or sort of, give them a bit more advice about life in the NRL and being on Australia?
Oh, mate, to be honest, I don't care what race or nationality you are. I take all the young guys under my wing. I feel like it's my job as the oldest player, not only in the competition but in our team, to help drive the young guys and help show them the way. So like I said, we're really inclusive here, and we take everyone under our wing, especially these big ones here.
Final question for Benji, please, guys.